Hello everyone, welcome to this UI UX crash course with Anybody Can Develop and me, your tutor for today.
So, we've given them names. The next thing you are going to do is design the small circular things beneath the image description. If you look at it well, you realize there are some small tiny dots down here. We are going to put that in our design. Okay, so this time I'll go to the shape icon and then look for a circle or something close to a circle. Okay, let me see. Let's try it for me. Okay, I'll choose the card gray down here and then shape it to whatever I want to shape it into. Unfortunately, I didn't get my circle, so I'll have to resize this to make this smaller, like what we saw in. Okay, I almost have my perfect circle. Okay, I have my circle now, so I'm just going to resize this to make it smaller. Okay, I'm zooming in to see my things, to see this element well, since it's going to have to be smaller. Zoom in a bit. Okay, it's circular enough. It looks a bit too big. Make it slightly smaller. Okay. 10. Wow. I'm doing it because it seems like I can't get it to be smaller than this. Wow. Wow. Okay, let me see if I can find another shape that I can morph into a circle.
Okay, so just I think it wouldn't be possible. So what you can do is you can just go by that.
Okay. So I guess we just use this like that. A bit too big than we wanted, but we can manage. So using the technique I used earlier, I'll duplicate these. Yeah. Make sure that they have the same space dividing them. I select the three of them and then go to the alignment section at the top and then tap on evenly distribute space. You realize that now everything is evenly distributed for me. I'm going to make this the first circle quite to make sure to convey the message that the first is on the first design. Okay, let me make this two a bit lighter. Okay. So there we have it. I think because of time, this might be, we might only be able to design the first page. So back to the image, you realize that there's some yellowish, orangish buttons beside them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this button down here, which probably means next. Let me see if I'll find it in the icon side. Forward. Okay, this circular one. Okay, see. Okay, so I finally found the icon I was looking for. Next, tapped on it, brought it down here. Now I just drag it to the position I want it to be. I want it to be in alignment with the three circles. Yes.
We are not seeing your screen.
Oh.
We can only see the book.
Can you see my screen now?
Okay, it's cool now.
Yeah, so I went to the icon I tapped on the icon to search next to show the icon I needed to use, and I selected the icon with the arrow pointing to my right. So yeah, it landed on my design screen. Now I just have to position it in the way I want it. So I think this is okay for me now. If you look here, the image, realize that the button it has a linear gradient of yellow and a darker shade of yellow. So back to wizard. You can see my screen, right? Kelvin, you can see my screen. Okay, so back to wizard. We go to the field section, the field side under the style section. Okay, I have to drag this up a bit. Yeah. So I'll change this to orangish yellow. I think this is okay. This is good enough. So we have our next button. And then let me drag this down a bit. Select this, align them in the middle, make sure they are all center aligned. Then drag them down. Okay. It looks good enough. Okay, so we are going to put a search icon button here. Go to the icon section and then type search. Okay, so I select this and then it drops it on my screen for me. I go back and then reposition it as I want it to be. Okay, good. So I just changed the color. Let me see the color code for this. Since I already have a color in mind, I'll just copy the color code from the first icon, right? As you can see me do here on my screen. Then I go back to the... Wow, it even just filled it easily for me. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to copy and then tap on it. And then it filled it for me. So we are good to go with the first design. Let's look at it. So this is our first design. You have Find Your Best Hotel. You have the search bar and the button here, the filter button, but we decided to make it a search button. And then we have the images here, the name of the images, the 4 dots down here, and then the button, the forward button, which we've done here. So in your spare time, you can redesign this or choose here. Yes, as I was saying, in your spare time, you can choose to redesign the design we just did, or go on to Dribble or Behance to find different designs or different images and try to replicate them in Wizard. That's how you can improve your skill sets, or what you learn here in Wizard. You can only improve your skill or your knowledge by practicing. It's very important to practice, because if you don't practice, you won't remember what you learned. Okay, thank you, Kelvin. I see Kelvin duplicated my screen. So, Kelvin, I'm looking at time. That's why it's almost 2. That's why I'm thinking of just probably pausing here or something. Okay. So, really.
Okay. Yeah. If there's anything you can do to make up for the remaining time.
Okay, alright. Then I'll try to do this. I'll try to do this as fast as possible. Since my people are not really interacting, I don't know if they are getting it or they are not. I wanted to make sure that they're understanding, but okay, let's move on to the next screen. So we title this as the detailed page. But as I'm doing this, once this session ends, if you have any questions, you can connect with me through my social media pages that I mentioned earlier, which is Behance and LinkedIn, or you can contact Kelvin. I'm in the group too. You can ask your questions in the group as well. Okay, so I'm deleting everything on here now. So this is the detail page, where when you tap on a particular image, it becomes bigger. No, don't delete. No, Kelvin, don't delete them. I'm coming to use one of them. Thank you. So I'll just delete this and this, and then this. But I'm using the image. Okay. So as you can see here, realize that one of the pictures have expanded. This is the second design we are doing. One of the pictures has expanded, and then it has the details down here. So I'm going to expand the first image. I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible so we can beat time. Okay. And this time the background is white, so I know the color code of white, so I'll just type it, which is FFFFFFF. Now I'm good to go.
Jacqueline, please. I'm not seeing your project screen.
Wow. Can you see it now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I expanded one of the images, and then I changed the background color to white. I think the border here is a bit rounded. Let me see if I can make it more rounded. Okay, you can see what I'm doing, right? I'm making the radius of the image, the border of the image rounder. Okay, so if you look here, you realize there's this thing on top of it, so being overlaid on it. So I'll add that shape here. I get the shape. I'll just choose this and see if I can make it work. Okay. Let me bring this up here. This looks a bit rounder. Okay, so we have this. I have to change the color to white. Once again, I know the color code, so I won't waste my time doing it. So I just enter the code and then I'm good to go. If you realize, you see that it has a bit of a shadow at the background, which helps us distinguish that this is on top and it's floating. It's a different thing from the background. Okay, so now I'll put a text on it. Let me duplicate this text. Go here. Press and hold Alt, or depending on which one. Let me make it bigger.
Please, I have a question. Do I have to ask now or should wait?
Ask as I'm doing it, because we don't really have time. Ask.
Okay, so with the shadow, with a shadow, is it automatically applied?
Is it?
Is it automatically applied or you have to do it yourself?
Okay, so it's not automatically applied to everything, but some of the shapes, as you can see, has shadows already. So the ones that don't have the shadows, you can do it manually. And the ones that do, you can just choose to modify the shadows if it's not to your taste, or if it's not as you want it to be. Okay, so I hope your question has been answered.
Yes, please.
Okay, alright, sure. So let me make this a bit bolder. Okay, so this text is bold. Now I'm duplicating this. I hope you remember the method I used to duplicate. Okay, a bit smaller. And make it normal, regular.
Yeah, Alt option.
Yes. Okay. So get text. Oh, damn it. I have to set it. So you can fill it with your text. Okay, I guess, and then it goes on and on and on. Since I don't have the Ipsum plugin here, I'll just leave it at this. And then I'll add the button. If you look here, you realize there's a button, a book now button here. I'll ignore this, the starting from $75 because of time. Then I'll just put the button here. Okay, so let me see if I can use this button. Oh. Okay, let me just use this button. I'll make it bigger and more visible. How do I do this? Actually, squash. The time is okay. Then I'll change the text to what's here? Book now. So to change the text, I have to double tap the text in the button. Then I'll type what I need to type. So you can see that it's a bit too small. So I'll tap on the button and go to the text properties, then increase the text size here. So let me leave it at 15. No, 15 is still too small. So I'll leave it at 16. I'm sure we can all see the text in the here. So there we have it. Thank you, Kelvin. The design for our simple hotel booking app. Now, I can take it a step further by connecting them so that when you click on the image, it actually moves to the next page. So what I'll do is I'll click on the interact tab. Seems like you have 2 minutes. Interact tab, and then here you can see that I can choose any of the element to create an interaction for. So in this case, I'm choosing the first image. So yeah, when I connect it, I get the details. For now, I'll just leave it at none. We are done with our design. So what I'm going to do now is preview it and see how it will look or how it looks. Yeah, so this is our design. When I tap on it, you realize that it moves to the next page. Yes, so this is it for today. If you want to go back to the editable design, just click on this to go back. And then it goes back to our design. So this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed the session.